Again, thanks again to Franz Bolter for putting the write-ups together and the bios. Chris will read the bio and introduce each inductee. And I know all of the inductees have a super competitive spirit, but I guarantee you one record you don't want is the longest speech. So you see people getting restless. That'll be time to wrap her up. No. But I'm going to introduce Chris Reavers, and we'll get started with our program. Again, thanks again, and we'll be tag teaming back and forth, Chris.
Thank you, Brian, and once again, thank you to the Faribault community for inviting me to come back. It's always truly an honor, and I appreciate that. Let's start with, it sounds weird to say his first name, Mr. Schultz, otherwise known as Harvey Schultz. A 1958 graduate of Monroe High School in St. Paul, Harvey participated in football, gymnastics, and track and field. He was a football captain and all-conference player, a gymnastics captain, and state meet participant in gymnastics, and a captain and two-time state meet participant in track and field. At Hamline University, he participated in football, hockey, and track and field, serving as captain in each sport. He is remembered locally as a great member of several coaching staffs at Faribault High School. Harvey was an assistant football coach for 24 years, a head and assistant in track and field for 30 years, and an assistant in wrestling for 2 years. He also served as athletic director for 2 years. In addition, he started and staffed the weight room for after school and summer lifting, as well as getting a new space and additional equipment. Harvey also was the wide receivers coach at Carleton for 2 years, and for 3 years coached track and field for Special Olympics. As a high school athlete, Harvey was a multi-sport captain, state tournament participant, and all-conference athlete, and he brought his athletic experience and understanding of success-building principles to his high school coaching. Before coming to Faribault, Harvey taught in Somerset, Wisconsin, and coached football and track. In his years in Faribault, Harvey was an assistant football coach for 24 years, a B squad football coach for 6 years, a head and assistant track coach for 30 years, and an assistant wrestling coach for 2 years. Harvey started the weight room and staffed it for after-school lifting and summer lifting with the help of Lowell Nolan. They procured a new weight room and with addition of weights, lifting benches, and machines. He also was the wide receivers coach at Carleton for 2 years, and for 3 years he coached the Special Olympics athletes in track events. He also issued the hardest C+ in the spring of 1996 to this guy in algebra. Congratulations, Mr. Schultz, on your 2024 induction into the Faribault Sports Hall of Fame.
It's a wonderful experience for me this evening, and I want to thank the Faribault Hall of Fame Committee for making this day possible. I've been truly honored and blessed to have coached and taught students at Faribault. This has been a dream job for me. There have been some wonderful young people that I have had a chance to work with. Further, it is an honor to me to be inducted the same night that our son Jim Schultz will be inducted. He was a much better athlete than I was, I can tell you that. There are many people, and I hate to do this because I often forget, but there are a number of people that I would like to name right now who have been instrumental in helping me be the coach and teacher that I am. First of all, Mr. Ted Thompson, Jim Tetzloff, Bill Nelson, Chuck Morrow, Dean Monkey, Dave Kinney, Virgil Lures, Rick Roston, the Mullets. There's a story behind that, but ask Rick, I've forgotten it by now. Junior high Chuck Madsen, Dick Shields, Rich Oliphant, Lowell Nolan, Dennis Glenn, Bob Sullivan, and Leon Lunder. And if I left somebody out, I truly apologize for that. There's just a huge long line of people that I've had an opportunity to work with. I thought I would tell one or two stories. I'm trying to go quickly here. We had a game in Mayo, and Mayo was at the top of the Big Nine that year, and we had a halfback that could run like the wind, and Ted called his number on one of the last plays of the game. We were behind by 5, and this kid stepped outside and no one touched him. He got to the 4-yard line and goes, whee, with the ball like that, ran into the end zone without the ball. The ball went out of bounds. No, it didn't either. Mayo recovered the ball. We lost the ball game. But no one was near him at the time. But that's one of the memories. Another one was we started a game at Mankato West, and they kicked off to us. Our boy fumbled the ball. They took it on the first play into the end zone. They kicked off again. Our receiver is standing there. The ball bounced off of his shoulder, and we could not believe this. It spun on the top of his head, just like a top. And one of the Mankato kids ran by and snatched it off his head. Now we're behind 14-0. We finally got the ball. Ted called a timeout, and he said, all right, guys, what do you call when you're behind 14-0? And it's the first play of the game. This one is a remembrance from Hamlin University, and we had a 4th down play called Fat Man Back, and 3 linemen went back in front of the kicker to protect, and 3 backs went up into the line of scrimmage to cover the kick more quickly. Well, the idea was this was a fake. And there was 2 things that could happen. The punter could run the ball, or he could pass it, and I happened to be on the outside edge and it was going to go to me. And I took a couple of steps out there and I looked back at him and his eyes were this big. He threw the ball, I caught it, started down the field, and it looked like it was home free. And all of a sudden a little defensive back, about 160 pounds, stepped over. And I had to make a choice. Do I try to fake him out or do I run him over? Well, you all know how well I move. So I figured I'm going to take him on. And I did. And I lost. Sunday morning's Minneapolis paper had across the whole top of the page a picture of this kid standing like this. My feet were on the ground on one side and the head was on the ground on the other side. And the caption was, sack of flour. Now before practice on Monday, that had been scratched off and it was changed to, and I won't tell you what it was, you can imagine what it might be. I would like to thank my wife Donna for being with us this evening and for being by my side for 62 years. And so to put up with a lot of stuff. In addition, and if these people would please stand, our son Jeff Schultz and his wife Nancy from Duluth, our daughter Jolene from Rochester, and then starting over here we have Anna, who is Jim's daughter, and Hayden, who is Jim's son, Mary is Jim's wife, and Kiva is Jim's daughter. So they've all come, these people have come from Oregon to visit. And we have a whole table of people back there, and thank you to everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you to everyone who's come to be here. I appreciate it. And again, thank you, committee.
Next we have Jim Schultz and his family. Well, we'll be speaking, we'll bring up Anna at the end here. So first, Chris.
You got an A and I got a C+. That's why you ended up in finance and I work in radio. A 1987 graduate of Faribault High School, Jim lettered 3 years in football, 4 years in wrestling, and 4 years in track and field. His accomplishments in leadership are extensive, both at the high school level and his college years at Carleton. In high school, he lettered 3 times in football, wrestling, and track and field. In football, he was honorable mention in the Big Nine and a junior, and in Big Nine All-Conference as a senior. Also in football, he was a captain as a senior, as well as the Outstanding Defensive Player of the Year. As a wrestler, he was Big Nine honorable mention as a junior, as well as being named the most improved wrestler and taking 3rd in the region meet. In track and field, he was a captain for 3 years and all Big Nine as a senior. Upon the completion of his senior year, Jim was named the Bruce Smith Outstanding Male Athlete. Outside of athletics, Jim was an Eagle Scout, on the student council for 3 years, a 3-year honors student, in the marching band and orchestra, a water safety instructor, a board member on the youth ministry team at church, and a Faribault Women of Today Outstanding Young Adult recipient, among several other things. His career at Carleton, he was a 4-year letterman in football, including duties as a long snapper for punts and extra points, 1 letter in wrestling, 4 letters in outdoor track and field, 2 letters in indoor track and field, 4 letters in outdoor track, oh, sorry, I just said that line, sorry about that. In football, Jim was named the Scout Player of the Year as a freshman, as well as finishing 6th in the MIAC hammer throw that year. Later in his career, he took 1st in the MIAC hammer throw and finishing as high as 5th and 8th in the nation as a sophomore and junior, thus garnering All-American honors each year. As a senior, Jim captured the football team in both the indoor and outdoor track and field teams. After graduating from Carleton, Jim fulfilled the dream of qualifying for the Olympic trials, although he missed the qualifying distance in his final meet. He also did some junior high coaching and some track and field coaching at Carleton. In his senior year of football, he was a team captain, the Outstanding Defensive Player of the Year, and Big Nine All-Conference as a linebacker. In wrestling, he was named Most Improved and took 3rd in the region as a junior, was a captain, all Big Nine, and again 3rd in the region. Jim was a 3-year captain in track and field and an all Big Nine as a senior, in which he also won and was recognized, as I mentioned earlier, as the Bruce Smith Outstanding Player. Congratulations to Jim and the entire Schultz family on your induction into the 2024 Faribault Sports Hall of Fame.
Hi, my name's Anna, Jim's oldest. Well, from the sounds of it, it seems as though our father was somewhat of an athlete. Unfortunately, we weren't around during that time to witness his talents. And he was far too humble to ever brag about anything he ever did, which is evident because yesterday was the first time we even knew Harvey was also an inductee at this as well. So it runs in the family. At one point, Jim did softly try to convince me to try to throw hammer when I was young. But I thought the idea of throwing shop tools about seemed a little silly. My brother Hayden did water sports. Our sister Kiba took to roller skates. And the extent of my abilities involved playing cards. Although I still can't beat my Grandma Donna in a game of speed. While none of us have the same athletic accolades, he did give us all a love of fishing that we did share. A non-competitive hobby that I happen to be better at than any of them. I guess that could be up for debate, but I am the one with the microphone tonight, so. Even though we didn't get to witness any games or meets, it is not lost on us what an amazing athlete he was. Being here in his hometown, seeing both the high school and Carleton fields where we can envision a young Jim in those exciting athletic days of his life is very special to us all. We are so grateful that the community here continues to honor and acknowledge the incredible athlete that he was, even without him being here to accept it. So from all of my family, we thank you very much.
Leon Lunder's going to come up and share a few stories.
Well, thank you. I had the privilege of coaching Jim at Carleton as well as Mike Stamp. So this evening has some special meaning to me. It is not difficult to write about Jim or talk about Jim, whether it be his talent, his work ethic, his focus, his appreciation of nature, or his love of family. When Jim came into my life, I could never have imagined the impact he and his family would have on me. There was a quiet calm in his persona, and I belied the desire to improve each effort. Not just as an athlete, but as a person. It may have been his incredible appreciation for the outdoors that made him understand what an incredible gift it was to be part of the life experience. The sly smile that would appear when he would be giving you grief or stories of fishing and duck hunting with his brother and his dad. Jim possessed a quiet strength, not unlike Harvey, that allowed him to challenge himself each and every day. He would track his workouts in the ring, in the weight room, ever conscious of technique and the volume of training he was involved in. Every movement was done with purpose. Using verbal feedback as well as video review. I always thought I never saw Donna's face until he graduated because she always had a camera in front of her face. But thank you for sharing that with us. The reality of the situation of being able to work with a young man like Jim was that he took everything to heart. His friendships were very important to him. His work ethic, as I mentioned before, was incredible. We would practice a couple times a day, and he wanted to throw the hammer all the time, even in the winter. I would come into the office and he'd be out there chipping ice out of the ring so that he could get in a few throws before he had to go off to class. We used to tie a red banner or ribbon around the handle of the hammer so that we could find it as it went crashing through the snow and ice out in the field. He was a very, very special individual, both from the standpoint of working with him as an athlete, but also to watch him interact with his friends on the teams. He was a leader, a quiet leader, but a leader just the same. We will never forget having had the opportunity to work with him and for getting to meet his family in the process. Congratulations to Harv. Congratulations to Jim and his whole family.
Hey, Jim, welcome to the Faribault Sports Hall of Fame, and thanks Hannah and Leon for your words.
A 2014 graduate of Faribault High School, Cecilia was a three-sport athlete in swimming, basketball, and track and field. While she shined in all three sports, she truly excelled in the swimming pool. And the following will outline her many accomplishments in that sport. A 6-year letter winner in high school, true team state 100 backstroke champion as a freshman, sophomore, and junior, Big 9 all-conference sophomore through senior years, Big 9 100 backstroke champion sophomore through senior years, set Big 9 100 backstroke record sophomore and senior years, Minnesota Section 1A backstroke champion sophomore through senior years with a new record each of those years, 1A Section 50 freestyle champion her senior year, Minnesota State meet participant grades 8 through 12, medaled in events 7 times, including relays, and was state 100 backstroke champ as a senior, 100 backstroke All-American as a senior, and qualified to swim that even at junior nationals. Broke the pool record for the 100 backstroke at 7 Big 9 schools, as well as at MSU Mankato. When she graduated, she still held the records at 5 of those pools. Broke 50 freestyle records her senior year, FHS Most Valuable Swimmer her sophomore through senior years, Female Athlete of the Year, Her senior year, she was team captain and MVP her sophomore through senior years, all 3 of those years. At Minnesota State Mankato, go Mavs, she was members of the New South and then Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference, multiple preseason all-conference recognitions, all NSIC, all 4 seasons. Participated in Division II National Swimming and Diving Championships all 4 years. All-American and honorable mention All-American all 4 years. Her events were 100 backstroke, 50 freestyle, 200 freestyle relay, 200 medley relay, 400 medley relay, placing anywhere from 4th to 16th over all of those years. First team All-American Scholar all 4 years. Numerous Minnesota State University Mankato individual award winner for over the years, and also pool records at that school in different events. Congratulations, Cecilia, and welcome to the 2024 class of the Faribault Sports Hall of Fame.
Good evening, everyone. It is an honor to be here tonight speaking to all of you for being inducted into the Faribault High School Sports Hall of Fame. Thank you to everyone who put this event together and coordinated all of the details so we could be together tonight. Congratulations to the other inductees that stand here with me, as this was no easy award to achieve. And I'd like to personally say thank you for all of the nominations and everyone in the room for your support tonight. I'm not sure if anyone traveled farther than me to be here, as for the past 3 years I have been living in Southern California. But no matter the distance or how far I move away, Minnesota has my roots, and the community of Faribault has shaped me into the woman I am today, and I am forever grateful for that. My sports career at Faribault High School took place from 2010 to 2014, and it's definitely a time in my life that I reflect on. I learned so many valuable skills and lessons at such a young age from sports, specifically swimming, that helped me navigate through the ups and downs that life throws at me today as a young lady. So I wanted to share with you tonight some of those lessons that I carry with me today. Although I started competing in swimming at a young age at the club swim team here, growing up on Roberts Lake, I always had a natural love for the water. But it wasn't until 6th or 7th grade that my swimming career really started taking off. And I did have a great career all 4 years of my high school swimming career, with many newspaper articles, pool and school records, conference and section championships, state appearances. However, my most dramatic year of my high school career would be from my junior to senior year. And what happened there is what really set me apart from other athletes and propelled me into my successful college career. So what happened that year? How did I do it? To this day, I still get asked, Cecilia, how do you have all of that motivation? Where do you get all this drive? Well, as I look back, the answer comes down to a couple of things. Number one was my mindset. Getting really specific what it is that I wanted and having complete focus on it. But not only was it my mindset, but also having a supportive environment, both at the home and in the pool. Now, as taboo as mindset sounds, bear with me as I want to share with you how I've learned over the years that the way we think and what we focus on really does affect our lives and the outcomes that come within it. So let's talk about my junior year. At this point, I had a lot of success thus far. I actually was seated 2nd place going into the state championship in the 100 backstroke. And I personally thought I was guaranteed the 2nd place spot because I knew the girl that was seated first was faster than me. And the other girls that were seated behind me, I wasn't worried because I had beaten them always prior. But unfortunately, my plan of getting 2nd place slipped out of my hands by 11/100ths of a second, and I ended up getting 4th place. So yes, 2 other girls slipped in front of me faster than you can even blink your eye. It was absolutely devastating to me and my little ego. The thing about swimming is you practice for hundreds and hundreds of hours just to perform a race that's less than a minute long, and sometimes under 23 seconds in the 50 freestyle. The pressure can be incredibly heavy, to say the least. And for how I performed at that meet and that race specifically, it really tore me apart and I felt as if I had failed. One of my favorite quotes from a book that I read earlier this year by Ryan Holiday, he says, "The obstacle in the path becomes the path." Many great leaders today and in history experience many obstacles that can be devastating. And as humans, we are motivated by only 2 things, by either pain or by pleasure. And what sets these great leaders and people who have accomplished great things apart is instead of dwelling in the pain of the past or whatever unplanned obstacle in their path, they turn their pain or obstacle into great triumph, that their success would not have the same outcome if they didn't experience those hard times. To achieve any kind of success, we must change our perspective on the obstacles in our life that were unplanned. At the time, I did not realize this, but getting 4th place my junior year was the absolute best thing that could have happened to me. The obstacle that happened actually motivated me away from the pain of losing to never feel that devastation again, but it also very much so motivated me by the pleasure of coming back my senior year and winning the whole event. With both of those underlying motivations, I was unstoppable to achieve any goal that I had set my mind to. So following my junior year swim season, I had to make a lot of sacrifices to get my environment right to achieve this goal of mine. I had to give up my other sports of basketball and track to primarily focus on swimming and actually take weightlifting seriously, which that year happened to be the first year Faribault got their outstanding new weight room. Because before that, weightlifting, and by the way, weightlifting and building muscle also was a huge catapulting career for my swimming career. The weight room before that was in a dungeon downstairs under the old auditorium. I really hated going down there and to lift weights, and I never really took it seriously. So using the weight room was definitely a huge impact in taking that seriously. My summer going into my senior year, I swam every morning at the FFAC pool with the club team, which previous summers I had not been so dedicated. I swam alongside Lindsay Horaci, who was training for the Olympic trials that same summer. My coach Hubert was a big supporter in achieving this goal. I remember sitting down one of the first practices of the high school season. I told him, I'm winning state this year and nothing is getting in my way. Which he had to kind of be on board with this goal, because he was the front row and the creator of the work that it took to get there. And your coach is one of the most important roles in any successful athlete's career. My parents sending me to swim camps, hiring a nutritionist. I even put sticky notes all over their house saying state champion. And when I say all over the house, I mean every single room. I'm not exaggerating. Almost every cabinet, every drawer, the rear view mirror of the car, you name it. I had put a sticky note just about anywhere that I looked throughout the day, just in case any doubt had slipped into my mind, so that I would be reminded that I was the state champ. I had no room for doubt or distractions, because where your focus goes, your energy flows. And I was focused on what I wanted, which was being a state champ and breaking personal records, and not what I didn't want, which was fear or messing up or losing. And that is why having a supportive environment is crucial in creating any kind of success in any area of your life. Most people are really good at knowing what they don't want. Heck, our brains are actually wired that way. So I realize it is hard to change your mindset, but what research shows, when we focus on what we don't want, it actually brings more of what we don't want. And the same is true about the opposite. When we focus on what we want, we will get more of what we want. Now, I'm not saying you have to put sticky notes all over your house. However, getting clear on what it is that you want, writing down that goal, whether big or small, in whatever area of your life, and reviewing it often is one of the major keys to success. Because when you fail to plan, you can most certainly plan to fail. So my senior year, I had a plan. I had took the action and put in the work, in addition to a supportive environment. I believe these were the key ingredients to achieving that level of success. My senior year, I accomplished many great things, including going the fastest times I had ever swam that broke many records here at Faribault High School and all around the state that are still untouched to this day, including the state record that I did at the section meet and winning the state championship in the 100 backstroke that honored me to become a high school All-American. And most importantly, something that surpasses any record or award that I could have ever achieved is the lessons and the skills that make me into the person I am today, and to help others realize that no matter the obstacle, you too can overcome anything and use it to create your own triumph. Thank you to my parents who have supported me from day one. I could not have done any of this without you. Thank you to Coach Hubert, who has been one of the best coaches I have ever had, teaching and guiding me throughout my high school career in and out of the pool. Thank you to Mark Vaninsky, who coached me from the start of my swimming career in 2nd grade throughout my college career. And thank you to all of the assistant coaches and the coaches from the other sports that I played, and all of my teammates and friends in between. You all hold a special place in my heart as my name goes down in Faribault sports history tonight. Thank you.
Blake Langrode was a 2013 graduate of Bethlehem Academy. Blake played football, hockey, and baseball, serving as a co-captain of both football and baseball. And as a senior, he helped lead the Cardinals to the Prep Bowl finals in football. After graduation, he took his baseball skills to St. John's University, where he played and lettered all 4 years. In high school, he lettered for 3 years in football. As a senior, he led the team in rushing, setting a school record for rushing yardage. He was named All-State honorable mention as a running back. He was also a mainstay on an outstanding defensive team. In baseball, he was a 4-year letterman, multi-year captain. He was named the Faribault Daily News All-Area Player of the Year as a senior. He was also named MVP his senior year. As a senior, he hit .559, a mark that was second all-time in BA history. He led the area in stolen bases with 22 and runs scored with 29. He struck out only 3 times. As a pitcher, he had an outstanding ERA of just barely over 1. At St. John's, he played all 4 years. In his sophomore year, the Johnnies advanced to the 2016 NCAA Division III Regional Tournament. He played the outfield and pitched as a sophomore and junior before tearing his labrum. As a senior, he hit .323 and an outstanding .404 on-base percentage. He played 10 years for the Faribault Lakers here in town. He helped the Lakers to advance to the state tournament for the first time in 30 years back in 2014. And that year, the Lakers took 3rd place, capping an amazing season. And I will add, he, along with another inductee, were instrumental in the maintaining of the Faribault Lakers' success for many years, reaching the state tournament 4 times in 6 years. Congratulations, Blake, on your 2024 induction to the Faribault Sports Hall of Fame.
First off, thanks to the committee, my coaches, my teammates, my family, and the Faribault community. Thank you. Thank you for helping shape me into the athlete I used to be and the man I am today. It's an honor to stand before you as an inductee into the Faribault Sports Hall of Fame, something I didn't even realize was possible. As is the same for my wife, who promptly asked me why I was being inducted. I guess the athleticism decline goes faster for some rather than others. When I look around, I see faces of friends, family, coaches, and teammates who have played pivotal roles throughout my life. And so again, thank you for being here to share this moment with me and the rest of the inductees. Your guidance, belief, and support push me to strive for excellence and embrace teamwork. I would be amiss to not specifically mention the most passionate person I know, Scott Hansen. Someone that instilled so many great traits in so many athletes with his passion, dedication, and commitment to each and every individual he coached. I was lucky enough to have him in my life from TB Tonka ball all the way through graduating high school. To this day, outside of my parents, he has no doubt played the most influential role in my athletic career. To my teammates, thank you for the unforgettable memories we created, from the bonds formed on and off the field to the countless successes. The victories we celebrated and the losses we overcame only solidified our brotherly bonds. I look back on the unforgettable state football run, and to this day still wonder what we could have done to get that title that was in our grasp. However, although we fell short, I think my body appreciates not having to get a tattoo on my ass. To my parents, thank you for your endless love and support. The travel, the cost, the time, commitment, along with so many other sacrifices that allowed me to grow and enjoy the sports I love. You believed in me and encouraged me every step of the way. Your sacrifices did not go unnoticed, and I am eternally grateful for your love and guidance. Although, as everyone else has mentioned, I do have to say, it sounds like I should be thanking my mom for passing along her athletic gifts. Sorry, Dad. And of course, Lauren, thank you for being the big sister I never thought I needed. Growing up and being able to look up to you shaped me both on and off the field. Finally, I want to express my gratitude to the Faribault community. Your support has meant the world to me. No matter what, there has always been a feeling of support, especially during both our runs at state in football and the state tournament for the Lakers. I think I speak for all the past and current athletes in saying this community that is one that fosters talent and passion, and I am proud to say that I'm a product of Faribault. As I reflect on my time growing up in Faribault, I'm reminded of how each sport I participated in, baseball, football, and hockey, shaped me not just as an athlete, but as a person. Amongst other things, baseball taught me patience. Football allowed me to discover the importance of resilience. Hockey taught me the importance of communication. Each sport taught me to embrace both the highs and lows of competition and always give my all, no matter what. But more than that, it brought me brotherhood, one that I still to this day cherish. In fact, I'd be willing to wager a lot of money that there is no larger group of guys that are still as close as my group of guys, even 11 years after graduating. As I accept this honor, I'm reminded that this is not just a recognition of my achievements, but a tribute to everyone who has been part of my journey. As I look forward together with my wife, I am so excited to be able to pass the same values, lessons, beliefs, and passions to my little guy Maxwell, as well as the next one on the way that's due in January. Thank you all once again for this incredible honor. I'm truly humbled and grateful. Thank you.
Congratulations, Blake, and welcome to the Faribault Sports Hall of Fame. Up next on our list, we have Rob Mullenberg being inducted in the Faribault Sports Hall of Fame, and there's Rob with 2 B's, so. Rob, he's gonna read your bio first, and then he's ready to rock and roll.
Rob Mullenberg was a 1984 graduate of Faribault High School. Rob was a fantastic wrestler for the Falcons during a highly successful 3-season run from 1982 to 1984. While his biography may not be extensive, it certainly reflects one of the most amazing individual careers among the many stories of success in a long history of outstanding Faribault wrestlers. From an individual and team accomplishment standpoint, their 1982 team was undefeated. Their teams won the Big Nine in 82, 83, and 84. They were the region champions in 1982 and runners-up in 1983 and 1984. Rob finished his career with a record of 72-4, with all 3 losses occurring his sophomore year. As a junior and a senior, he was obviously undefeated. He wrestled in 7 national tournaments, winning 3 national championships, taking second 3 times, and finishing 4th once. He pinned his way all the way through his first national tournament, and he won a spot on the Minnesota team for the Grand National Tournament. Congratulations, Rob, and welcome to the 2024 Faribault Sports Hall of Fame.
Hello, everybody. First of all, I want to say thank you for everyone for being here. I want to thank everybody. It was an incredible turnout. Faribault Hall of Fame and their hard work in putting this whole event together. My name is Rob, and I was blessed by the grace of God to be one of 5 boys of George and Betty Mullenberg. And I grew up with 4 incredible brothers, Russ, Gene, Mike, and Raj. Best brothers a guy could ever have. And they taught me so much over the years, and I'm so proud to be part of this family. They instilled me an incredible work ethic with my parents. Obviously, my dad worked a lot of overtime for us to be able to go camping, fishing, and whatever. And we enjoyed ourselves very much growing up. And brought us to all these wrestling tournaments. Another thing, I grew up in one of the greatest eras of Faribault wrestling history. With Ed Kane and Dave Ring and Ron Koeman started the Faribault Wrestling Club. Within 2 years, we had one of the largest wrestling clubs in the nation. And with all the parents' hard work, and bringing all the kids to the tournaments, it was an incredible time growing up. And brought us to all the national tournaments and all the different meets at Williams Arenas and subsectionals and everything. Besides all my brothers having such a great influence on me, there was a guy I used to watch. I started wrestling at 9 years old. His name was Lyle Clem. We walked into Rochester subsectionals. His mother sewed all his medals on these on his warm-up gear. Most of them with gold medals. So being the young kid as I was, I go, oh, he knows what he's doing. So I would watch him wrestle. He had an incredible, smooth takedown, very fast, and his arm series were incredible. So I pretty much mentored after him. And that's the way I'd like to wrestle. That's what I pretty much did. Also, I want to thank my mom because, he raised 5 rambunctious boys with my dad. And I'll tell you, I was always amazed at how my dad could look up at all of us at the same time and have us straighten right out just by one look and make us look like angels. So it was very incredible. And they always brought us, every year my mom saved enough money for us to go to all these wrestling meets, national tournaments, and for us to go camping every year, and it was incredible. I also got to wrestle on one of the best teams ever to come out of Faribault, the 1982 Faribault wrestling team. Like Greg Rourke, John Roach, Greg Kamalik, my brothers, Raj and Mike, and Tom Smuda, Tom Reichert, Joe Jackson, Doug Grandia, North Johnson. If I mentioned Greg Rourke, but I did. Terry Ullum was an incredible wrestler for us. We always used to watch Greg Rourke wrestle, and he was one of the most phenomenal wrestlers as far as throwing a headlock on a guy. He could. Well, I'm sorry, but he was incredible to watch. He's phenomenal to watch, and if you've ever seen him, you guys would have loved it. I'm sorry, I kind of got off the beaten path here. Well, my philosophy for wrestling has always been to go out and wrestle 6 hard minutes and give the best possible match to my fans and everybody that came to watch. I would do my best to just go out and wrestle hard and make the best of it. And I thank everybody for being here tonight and for letting me be part of this. And I want to thank my family and everybody else for letting me be here. Thank you.
All right, congrats, Rob, and welcome to the Faribault Sports Hall of Fame. Victoria Nass under the tutelage of Coach Franz Bolter's volleyball program. So next up is Victoria Nass.
Victoria was a 2011 graduate of Bethlehem Academy. She excelled on the volleyball court for the Cardinals in the middle of their glory years of state championships and state runners-up. She was a 4-year starter in high school. Her teams won 2 state championships and finished as state runner-up once. Each year, her teams went undefeated in conference play as they contributed to a string of 18 straight conference championships and 137 consecutive conference wins. She graduated as BA's career digs leader with 1,792. She was All-State and All-State Tournament in 2009, All-State in 2010, Team Captain and Team MVP in 2010. She played in the 2011 Minnesota Volleyball Coaches All-Star Series in 2011. In college, she played 4 years of volleyball at the College of St. Ben's. She was the starting, how do you pronounce that? Libero. Thank you. Not a volleyball player, my wife was, I apologize. For the last 3 years. Her teams qualified for the Division III NCAA tournament each of her 4 seasons. To begin her senior season, the Bennies were ranked 9th nationally. She was the team defensive player of the year her last 3 seasons. She was honored as the MIAC Libero of the Week. She holds the St. Ben's record for most digs in a season with 765. She holds the record for most digs in a game with 38. And she's number 3 in career digs with 1,988. And she was also team captain her senior season. Congratulations, Victoria, on your induction into the 2020-24 Faribault Sports Hall of Fame.
Good evening, everyone. I'm truly humbled to be standing here tonight accepting this honor of being inducted in the Faribault Sports Hall of Fame alongside so many great athletes. As I was reflecting on my time playing volleyball, I was filled with gratitude and nostalgia, remembering the journey that has brought me here. I want to start by expressing my heartfelt thanks to my family. I come from a large extended family, so I was so lucky to have all the support over the years of playing volleyball. I especially want to thank my mom and dad for their unwavering support and the time they dedicated to attending games, both in high school and college. Mom, you made sure jerseys, spandex, knee pads, and socks were clean and smelling as fresh as possible. Dad, you made sure to provide scouting reports on the competition and were my personal stat keeper. I'm sure he still has a program somewhere with dig tallies on it. Throughout my time playing volleyball at Bethlehem Academy in St. Ben's, I was lucky to have some of the best coaches. Thank you to my high school coaches, Franz Bolter, Sue Jandro, Ken Trinka, and Abby Samarja, and my college coaches, Nicole Hess and Amanda Anderson. Your guidance, wisdom, and sometimes tough love shaped me not only as a player, but as a person. The life lessons I learned from you extend far beyond the volleyball court. Volleyball was a major part of my life for so many years, and when I reflect back, it's not necessarily the championships and victories I remember the most, but it's my teammates and the memories we made together. In high school, I will never forget the preseason parties and scavenger hunts around town, or the yearly volleyball trip to watch a former teammate play in college. When I went to St. Ben's, I was lucky to find another incredible group of women to call friends. We made so many memories on long bus rides, weekends away at tournaments, and an unforgettable trip to Spain. As I stand here tonight, I'm reminded that this honor is not just about me. It's about all those who supported me, who cheered me on, and who challenged me to be better. It's about the power of the community, the impact of dedicated coaches, and the unbreakable bonds formed through a shared passion. Thank you again to the Faribault Sports Hall of Fame for this incredible recognition, and to everyone here tonight supporting me and cheering me on once again.
Congrats, Victoria, and welcome to the Faribault Sports Hall of Fame. Up next, unfortunately, we have someone that is not with us here in person tonight, but we have many family and friends that are here with the induction of Mike Stamm. And speaking on his behalf at the end of the recognition will be Bob Sullivan.
Mike was a 1985 graduate of Faribault High School. He was an outstanding 3-sport athlete for the Falcons and just an all-around great guy. That reputation went with him to Carleton College as well, where he shined in football for 3 years before a tragic snowmobile accident took his life in January of 1988. During his football career as a defensive lineman at Carleton, he was named to the MIAC All-Conference team for all 3 seasons that he played, frequently being mentioned as the premier defensive lineman in the MIAC. Upon his death, the conference established the Mike Stamm Defensive Player of the Year Award, a conference recognition that is still being awarded each season. Mike was projected to be the Carleton College's first professional football player, with the anticipation that he would go in the middle rounds of the 1989 NFL Draft. Here are just a few of the many tributes, not just Michael's football prowess, but even more importantly, his character and his love for others and the way that they loved him. With Mike and Carleton, it was love at first sight. Mike loved Carleton, and he loved being there. Mike was a friend to all who knew him, and he was liked by all who knew him well. Mike lived next door to me that last year, and I had the pleasure of getting to know him really well over the course of the year. He was one of the most dedicated people I've ever met. His devotion to his family, his girlfriend, to his team, and to his studies took him up almost every minute of his day, and I've always been honored that he took time to know me. Mike Stem had the respect and admiration of everybody who knew him, both as a person and an athlete. As Leon Lunder liked to say, he was the only student that everyone called Mr. Sometimes friends of mine would jokingly refer to Mike as the biggest man in Rice County. I admired Mike's commitment to his hair, for I'm waging the same war myself. Stemming from beneath his hair was his excuse for a neck. I had to trust him when he, sorry, that was funny. I had to trust him when he said that it was there. It was as wide as his head, and I remember embarrassingly comparing it to my own. I only lived with Mike for 4 months, but I have never met a person who endeared himself to others more quickly. In a subtle way, he became our protector. Without being pushy or insulting, he took care of all of us. Mike Stem's football ability was simply amazing, but clearly his character was his best quality. Congratulations, Mike, as we honor you in your induction to the 2024 Faribault Sports Hall of Fame, and I know Bob Sullivan is coming up to accept that award.
On Tuesday, January 21st, 1988, one day short of his 21st birthday, Mike Stam was killed when a train hit his snowmobile from behind in his hometown of Faribault. Mike was an easy recruit. He loved Carleton right from the get-go. When we practiced in Faribault High School football field his senior year of high school, Mike was there every night to watch us practice. He was always there. He was an outstanding player for Faribault High School and a 4.0 GPA. He was an early admit to Carleton, and with a 4.0 you couldn't hardly refuse him. A late developer, we felt, in football. When we got to Carleton, he just got better, bigger, faster, and stronger every single year. Mike was the most dominant defensive lineman in the MIAC in 1986 and 1987. It was where it was all conference both years. His 17 career sacks in only 3 seasons put him on pace to become the all-time sack leader and tackler for a defensive lineman in the history of Carleton football. Murray Warmath, who was a scout for the NFL, told me more than once that Mike would go as high as number 4 in the 1989 draft. At 6'3", 263 pounds, and a 4.7 40, he was a pro prospect without a doubt. I had 2 phone calls from attorneys who wanted to be his agents when he graduated. A memorial fund was set up at Carleton, which very quickly the fund grew to a tidy sum of money. Mike's parents, Chuck and Diane, and his sister Missy, wanted to know what to do with the fund. They decided to create a Lineman of the Year award for the MIAC, to be known, of course, as the Mike Stam Award, which began in 1988 and goes on till this day. Carleton Scott Bonnell, a teammate of Mike's, was the second recipient in 1989, and a local lad for you guys in 2001, Matt Shapee of Augsburg, won the Stam Award that year. Mike would have been very proud to have been inducted into the Hall of Fame here in Faribault, Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. all this Carlton talk makes my time at Augsburg feel a little bit down here. But I was on that team where Matt Shapi won that STEM award, so it was nice to see those local connections on that. So congratulations to Mike and his family and friends that are here tonight, and what an amazing accomplishment, and gone too soon. Second to last, but he was first on the track many times, we have Mike Swanson.
Mike graduated from Faribault High School in 1986, and he left a huge imprint on the FHS cross-country and track programs during his years. And he's likely making an even bigger impact on Faribault High School athletics through his occupation. In high school, Mike lettered for 3 years in cross-country. He was part of the 1983 Region Championship team that went on to the state meet. He was also team captain and 2-year all-conference runner. In track, Mike lettered for 4 years. He was all-conference for 3 years, as well as a 3-year captain. He was co-MVP and all-state his senior year. He was also a finalist for Male Athlete of the Year. In his professional life, Mike is a longtime co-owner of Fitness in Motion with Dr. Bob Erickson. He also provides extensive sport-specific training for area athletes, many who have achieved great success at a high level in a variety of sports. It's fair to speculate that Mike has probably had a positive impact on more area athletes than most coaches have in town. Many adults would also credit Mike for getting them on healthy pathways. Endless numbers of former area high school athletes end up coming back to Fitness in Motion to take advantage of Mike's expertise. I won't hold it against you that I've never really achieved anything like it. But thank you for Fitness in Motion. Congratulations, Mike, on your 2024 induction into the Faribault Sports Hall of Fame.
Thank you, everyone. It's an honor to be here tonight. Congratulations to all the inductees. Most of you I know pretty good. Dilly and Blake probably played knee hockey in my basement a few times. They have a couple of my coaches here today. Virgil Lures, Harvey Schultz was a head coach. I remember one day having Harvey in class and I wasn't paying attention and he kind of let me have it, if you've ever been in Harvey Schultz's class. Yeah. And later that day we're in a track meet, we went 2 miles and the first guy giving me a hug. He was passionate and he cared about his athletes, and it's an honor to go in with Harvey also. I don't want to go back to 5th or 6th grade, but I'm going to start back in the fall of 1983. So it's like 8, 10, right? All right. Things aren't happening. You know, one thing I learned that year in working with athletes is good athletes score goals and good athletes win races, but great athletes make the people around them better. And that group, that team was amazing, and it was captained by Kirk Miller. He was three-time state competitor, all-state, 4-time Division II athlete. I don't know if that information is good for anyone in this room, but take it as you may. But he was an amazing captain. My brother, Scott Swanson, was a captain on that team. Chris Nelson was the 3rd runner on that team. More girls wanted to date him than not date him. Steve Hallett was on that team. He was a Gold Glove boxer. He may or may not have knocked someone out in a St. Olaf meet. Brian Johnson was kind of the football player who went out for cross country. He had a really nice car until Kirk Miller hit it. And then we had either a Strauth or a Nesbitt on the team. And it was absolutely amazing because the girls were always known for being tremendous. That year, I think they took 2nd in state, and they were amazing athletes. And the guys were kind of just second thought. I mean, it was just like the guys' team and all that. And them guys were committed that we were going to go to state. And I remember that day in fall when we got off the bus and the coaches were talking to the girls, and Kirk says, "This is it. This is the day." And you should have saw the looks on the face when me and Chris Nelson came running with my known as number 2 runner, and we won that meet. And it was. One thing I learned is there's no limits. The only limits you have is the limits you put on yourself. And it's a lesson I've carried with my athletes that I train and beyond that in high school. So them guys were tremendous effects in my life. A lot of people ask me about the 2-mile record. Once again, that wasn't done by myself. I had an amazing coach in track called Chuck Morrow. And he wrote a guy named Frank Short, and he wrote my workouts. And on my junior year, I missed state. Our region was super tough. And if you didn't make state qualifying time, you didn't go. In my junior year, I missed state by 2 seconds. And I was probably the 4th or 5th fastest time in the state. And the next year, we're running intervals, and coaches leave, and we're laying in the football field. And the kids are like, why is he so mad at us? And they go, he ain't mad. Mike missed it by 2 seconds. He ain't gonna let that happen again. And we worked really hard. And I remember these guys, and their names are Al Duchesne, Mike Klein, Scott Neswell, Pat Roach, Scott Staupy. And they pushed me, And I remember that day I set that record, they came up to me at the region meet and they said, don't let us down. We've worked too hard for this. And without them, I never would have had that. And so I'm very thankful for my friends in high school, and it's probably the purest friends you'll ever have. So it's extremely important to me. Real quick, Fitness in Motion. Once again, surrounded by people that made Fitness in Motion work. Great coaching staff, like in the 90s when we worked with the football teams. We did a really good job, but we also had great coaches at the football level, and they're all in the Hall of Fame. Jim Tetloff, Charlie Madsen, Rich Oliphant. I mean, it doesn't happen by yourself. It's a group of people working to make something happen. And we work with a lot of best athletes, but one of the moments in fitness wasn't with an athlete. One day I had a kid come in, or a mom come in, about 2005, and she said, my son was in a snowboard accident. He did 6 months of rehab. Is there anything you can do for him? And I was like, oof, wow. And we have established a community at that thing where we brought that kid in, and the whole gym would work with that kid. They would help him get on machines. They would help him change the weights. 6 months later, you would never known he had a snowboard accident. As a matter of fact, I remember going to his wedding, and the look on his mom's face, we never ever knew if we'd ever see that day. And now he's a teacher at a school district, not in Faribault, has 2 kids, wife's a physician assistant, and that's what it's always been about for me. It's about the community and about being lifted by other people, and it's never been about me. It's about that group of people. I just want to take a quick minute. My family's over here. If they could stand up, my wife, my kids. You can stay standing up. You can stay stand up, stand up. They don't listen very well, do they? Stand up, thank you. Stay stand up. I have someone, if you've ever been a running teammate of mine, if you could stand up, I know they're all back there. Without you guys, I won't be here today. Stand up. What is wrong with you people?
Come on, Chris.
Come on, Chris, Kurt, Scott. All right, and then my brothers and sisters are back here. If you could please stand up. Stand up. Mark, Steve, stay standing up. And then also, if you have ever been a member of Fitness in Motion, whether it's a summer membership or a year, or my longest member's been since 1984, if you've been a member of Fitness in Motion at any time, if you'd please stand up. These people are why I'm here today, and I appreciate everyone again. Thank you very much.
Well, that was a good stretch for everyone, and congrats, Mike, on your induction into the Sports Hall of Fame. Last but not least, right, Reavers on our list, we're doing pretty good. We could keep going, Dylan, or do you just want to get up here and get it going? All right, he's ready to rock and roll. Dylan Valentine.
Dylan was a standout in both football and baseball, and a 2013 graduate of Bethlehem Academy. He was a team leader in both sports, and he helped to lead the Cardinals to a state runner-up finish on the gridiron his senior year. In football, he was a 4-year letter winner, all conference as a junior and a senior. Defensive MVP his junior season, defensive line MVP his senior season. He led his team in tackles both years. He was selected for the Faribault Daily News All-Area Team both seasons. Honored as a second-team All-State selection his senior year. A member of the 1,000-pound club in weightlifting. He was voted All-Conference his junior and senior seasons, as well as defensive MVP his junior year and defensive line MVP his senior year. He led his team in tackles both seasons, as well as being named to the All-Area Football Team each year. And as a senior, he was second-team All-State. In baseball, he was a 4-year letter winner, 3-year co-captain, 3-year All-Conference. He caught 3 no-hitters. Team batting champ his junior year, Gold Glove Award winner his senior year, twice named team MVP, selected for the Play Ball Minnesota High School All-Star Series his senior year, selected to the 2012 Metro Baseball All-Star Team, and an All-Area Player of the Year his senior season, All-State his senior season. He played collegiately at both St. Cloud State and the University of St. Thomas, twice selected for the MIAC Sportsmanship Award while at St. Thomas, and played 11 seasons with the Faribault Lakers including our state tournament third place finish in 2014, and as I mentioned with his teammate and best friend, instrumental in the successful run for the Faribault Lakers. And as a quick aside, I'm going to say this, Maddie, don't get mad at me. I was asked about Dylan once in an interview for Town Baseball years ago, and talking about the team. And I was asked specifically about Dylan, and I could go on about his accomplishments as I just did as a baseball player. He's a great catcher, everything else. But I said, you know, the best thing about Dylan, he's the kid you'd want to marry your daughter. That's the kind of guy Dylan Valentine is. Congratulations, Dylan, on your 2024 induction with the Faribault Sports Hall of Fame.
Just wanted to start off by saying thank you to the Hall of Fame Selection Committee for this honor. I'm so grateful to be standing up here tonight with inductees, including Blake, one of my best friends and teammates. Congrats to everybody. Thank you to everyone who played a part in making this evening possible. I've been so blessed with so many great opportunities, and that is thanks to so many influential people in my life. First, I want to thank my parents, Barb and Jay. We have spent countless hours going to practice, games, playing catch in the backyard, hitting baseballs off the Mauer quick swing. You guys never missed a game. From TP Tonka ball all the way through college and Laker baseball, you were always there. Dad, you'd volunteer your time and coach with Tony, and later on you guys would run the scoreboard and PA system at Laker games. I think you guys had more fun than we did most of the time. Thank you both for your unwavering support, for your unwavering love and support throughout my sports career journey. My sister, Marissa, thank you for being an incredible role model for me and always pushing me to be better. I appreciate all your support over the years. My wife, Maddie, thank you for your endless love and support throughout high school, college, and 11 years of Laker baseball. I'm so fortunate to have shared so many of these memories with you and met so many great friends of ours along the way. Thank you to the coaches. I'm so fortunate to have been coached by so many great people over my sports career. To name a few, and I could go on, but Scott Hansen, Mike Carpentier, Russ Kennedy, Charlie Lechtenberg, and Bob Felix. Thank you for the invaluable life lessons, mentorship, and the time you have dedicated to my growth, both on and off the field. Your guidance has shaped who I am today. I'm grateful for all you have done for me. To my teammates, thank you for pushing me to do better every single day, and the countless memories we've created together. Your dedication and support not only led to our success, but created lifelong friendships. I'm honored to share this with you. I remember Coach Hansen always telling us we're out at practice, it could have been 100 degrees, it could have been 40 degrees out in the back 40, but you'd always say you'd miss the Friday night lights or you'd miss the games, but the thing you'll miss the most is just being at practice, going to team camp together, or going to the weight room. He was right. Having a chance to reflect on, sports and all the memories, but going back to the beginning, I just thought, what was one thing that stuck out to me? And that moment was playing TP Tonka ball and, probably fourth grade, and raising my hand to say, I want to put on the catching gear and play catcher, and nobody else wanted to, and I probably just thought the equipment was cool or something like that, but I loved it and I stuck with it, and I was behind the plate the rest of the way. There's so many great memories from playing sports, but I'd just like to share a few key moments. One of them being beating Blooming Prairie our senior year in the section final. I think a lot of us played that freshman year, and I think they beat us by about 50, so beating them senior year in the section final was bittersweet. Getting to play in the Metrodome as sixth graders for a football scrimmage, and then also finishing our high school career there in the championship game was very fitting. Just one touchdown away, and that was a pretty special year and special team. And then the Lakers, getting a chance to play at Target Field for the Town Ball Classic was incredible, and making so many state tournament runs and just having an absolute blast every summer. In closing, Faribault and Bethlehem Academy have provided me so many great opportunities in life and sports. I'm so honored to be part of the Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Congrats again, Dylan, and welcome to the Faribault Sports Hall of Fame. So I just have a few closing remarks, and I think we did pretty good on time, so again, thank everyone. I want to thank everyone for being here. This is probably our largest attendance. I know it's a little bit packed, but all for good reasons and good celebration, so thank all of you for being here. When you came in, there were some nomination forms, and again, we heard some names tonight, so if you have a nomination for the Faribault Sports Hall of Fame, committee members are over there, or you can reach out to any one of us, and we're always looking for nominations for the class of 2025 and beyond. And we'll be back here in 2025, so thank you all, have a great evening.